And I never believed in evolution until then. You know? And, then I realized that I didn't buy this magazine just to laugh at some more politicians. We can do that all the time, huh? You want a good laugh? Just look in Washington, D.C., you know? But I don't know if any of you have heard this before, but it had an amazing article in this magazine. How to Achieve the New World Order. This is Time magazine, March 14, 1994. And this particular article was written by Henry Kissinger. And what he basically says in here is that America needs to compromise our ideals in order to fit in to today's more global society. You see, and this takes us back to what I said at the beginning. This takes us back to what this meeting is. This meeting is Washington, D.C., you better get this message and you better get it good. We're not compromising anything anymore. We're keeping our guns and our families and our freedom. Okay? Now, recently I was on Judge Napolitano's show on Fox News. I went back, he asked me to come back to New York, and I did, and it was a great time. And last night he was talking about some other things that I totally believe in. You know that song about Barbara Mandrell, I was country when country wasn't cool? Well, I was state sovereignty before it was a vogue issue. Way back when nobody was talking about it, we were suing the Clintons to get it back. And now it's coming back to the forefront again. And great. Because you know what they said on this show? They're actually spreading this around, what I've been talking about for the last 20 years. We believe in states nullification. We believe in jury nullification. And bottom line, if none of that works, we believe in sheriff nullification. And why? Because the county sheriff is America's last hope. And when all the other nullifications stop, he is the ultimate check and balance for you, his people, his constituents, we the people. And that's one of the reasons why your sheriff is such a powerful position. He's the only elected law enforcement officer in the United States. He serves the power source. He serves we the people. And so I want you to know that now this is a magazine I can get my teeth into, especially when they put me in there. Okay, this is the New American. And the New American just did an article on my book, The County Sheriff, America's Last Hope, and on me and what I'm about and state sovereignty. And it asks the question right here. Can the county sheriff save the Constitution? Well, who's got to make sure your county sheriff knows and understands that principle, that he is the one in charge? And that's you. And so, of course, who needs to read this book? Who needs to get The County Sheriff, America's Last Hope? Well, you do. And then you need to make sure that your sheriff understands this. He works for you. This is such a huge potential here. We've got over 1,000 people here. And by the way, this is the largest crowd I've ever spoken in front of. Right? We've come close. We've come close in Roseburg, Oregon, and we've come close in Hamilton, Montana twice. But nobody's got over the 1,000 mark yet, and tonight we did, and I thank you for that. Thank you so much. So, I want you to know where this whole thing is going tonight. And so I'm going to start with Z, okay? We're going to go through A, B, C, D, and all the alphabet, but we're going to go to Z first, okay? And this is in my hand a copy of the United States Supreme Court decision in Mack, Prince versus U.S., defended by, of course, the Clinton administration. And he's the one that signed it into law, and he told Janet Reno to take care of this, and they were, of course, trying to defend having the Brady Bill there. Well, real quickly, what was wrong with the Brady Bill? The first thing is that I learned through all this process that the President of the United States, and I don't care who it is. It could be George Washington. It could be Ron Paul. I don't care. None of them, no matter who is president of the United States, he does not have the jurisdiction, he does not have the authority, and he has no right whatsoever to tell your sheriff what to do. Okay? So if your sheriff cannot be bossed around by the president, can any of the auxiliary bureaucracies underneath the president tell your sheriff what to do? Of course not. That's ridiculous. Of course not. And just so we know and understand how far off our country is, let's put this into perspective. Have they done their job in protecting our borders? No, of course not. It's easier for a terrorist to get in our country through Mexico than it is for you and me to get on an airplane. Yeah, that's absurd. Okay, another thing that I find absolutely unforgivable. These people in Washington, D.C. will come to you in a few months and tell you that they're heroes and that you should re-elect them. And yet this is a case, I think, that is absolutely disgraceful. It's beyond shameless. Who has better benefits in this country? Washington, D.C. lying politicians, or men and women who have risked their lives in war and are veterans and have served our country and risked their lives for us, and they don't even come close to getting what any senator or congressman or bureaucrat or the countless czars we have in Washington, D.C. And I say, let's stand and honor the veterans who are here tonight. If you're a veteran, please stand. Please stand to be recognized. Thank you. Thank you for serving our country, and I apologize that you have not been taken care of the way our politicians are. And we need to change that. And it's a disgrace. It's an American disgrace. So what did the Supreme Court say in Mack Prince versus U.S., June 27, 1997? This case was hidden from you. And it's now coming back to the forefront because of the movement that's going on in our country to take back our freedom and people understanding the principle of state sovereignty. If your state is sovereign, does it have to take Obamacare? No. Of course not. You're sovereign. So, is that just a cliche, or do we understand the word sovereign? It means there's no boss or authority above you. That's it. The state of Washington and Idaho are sovereign. And your sheriff is your sovereign protector. Okay? Now, this is what Scalia said. This is the United States Supreme Court shaking its finger at the United States Congress and federal government, June 27, 1997. Quote, "The federal government may neither issue directives requiring the states to address particular problems, nor command the state's officers or those of their political subdivisions." Political subdivisions, counties, cities, towns, school boards, to administer or enforce a federal regulatory program. Now let's stop right there real quickly. Would nationalized, socialized health care be a federal regulatory program? Yeah. Of course. We all get it. They never will. And right now, we don't care if they get it, because the states can stop it all. And we will and we can, county by county, state by state.